Hi, my name is Mike Sidhu, practicing infinite banking specialist and authorized practitioner from the Nelson Nash Institute. And I've been practicing IBC since 2015 in my own personal life, in my own personal finances. You may be watching this video wondering, what the heck is infinite banking? And you may be watching this video thinking maybe or hearing about infinite banking, but not really knowing, does it work in Canada? It is true that infinite banking did start in the US and came to Canada late 2008, 2009. People coming out of the financial crisis at that time were looking for alternatives for paying less tax, controlling more of what they had, and creating some safeties, creating some guaranteed, contractually available leverage. One of the big things about the mindset of infinite banking is that it is not a product, it is a process by which you control the function of banking in your life. Many people think, oh, well, infinite banking is about selling life insurance or something. And while many people think that way, that's not exactly true. Infinite banking is a process, it's not a product. The best product to use infinite banking just happens to be a tax exempt life insurance contract that's available for purchase anywhere. There are three main reasons why people purchase life insurance. The first one is to protect their heirs from paying tax. It could be to provide protection in the event that they pass away and lose their ability to produce an income for that family. It could be to satisfy debts and pay debts off in the event that that person passed away. The second reason that people do purchase a life insurance contract is to accumulate capital. And you can take your after-tax money and set it aside in a life insurance contract that will not attract, if it's done right, if you use the policy correctly, you'll never pay tax on that money a second time. What we're used to doing is taking our after-tax money and then investing it and paying more tax on it. Well, that kind of grinds off your ability to create a return. So the ability to use a life insurance contract to not pay any more tax is very attractive for many Canadians. The third reason to purchase a life insurance is to transfer wealth from one generation to the next. And the best example of this is the difference between the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts. You may have even heard the book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? So in 1860, Cornelius Vanderbilt, who was a railroad tycoon, had amassed more wealth than at that time the U.S. Federal Reserve. He was worth about $100 million in 1860. Now, today, the Vanderbilt family is broke. They spent lavishly, didn't think about saving, and they didn't do what the Rockefellers did. Rockefellers obviously started in the oil industry back in the 1900s, and today over 150 families live off the Rockefeller Trust. Now, here's the secret with the Rockefeller Trust, is they use life insurance to multiply the value of that trust with every generation that's born. $1 million of cash goes into purchase a life insurance policy on the newborn child. So when you look at how wealth can be created and transfer from one generation to the next, life insurance is a great financial instrument in order to be able to do that. When you have a properly designed life insurance contract and you have that platform, now you can start using that by changing your mindset into controlling, protecting, and growing more of what you have. Let's take an example here of somebody who's a debtor. So everything they purchase is done with debt. The issue with that, of course, is interest costs. As interest is paid to a lender, the banker really is the one making money, or if you're using debt to invest, there is the participation of the banker that is participating in the return with you through a cost, and that cost is that interest cost. A saver, on the other hand, is somebody who builds up their capital, and then takes it and deploys it either in an investment or an asset or maybe a vehicle, or uses it to purchase something that they want. Now, the problem with the saver is that they give up something. Austrian economics teaches us that every decision is a decision of priorities, and every priority is an economic one. So when we decide to take the money that's in our account maybe and buy something with it, because money attracts a return, now the money attracts return for the other guy. And we don't want that. We want to retain more of what we have. And the third way, and the way that we use infinite banking as a mindset, is to be a wealth creator. So imagine if you had saved up all the money that you had ever made and had it in some sort of vehicle, TFSA or something, where you had that available for you to leverage against. Now, here's the secret with leverage, is that when you put a line of credit on a home, for example, you want to use the value of that home to do something with. Maybe you want to make an investment in a tech company, or you want to invest in a business. Well, you can't sell your kitchen out of that house, can you? It's very difficult to make change out of a large asset. That's why cows don't make great money, because you can't make change very easily out of a cow. You can only make change out of a herd. So when you instead of selling off your kitchen, you use the value of the entire house to put a line of credit, and you use that line of credit to invest in businesses. Your house is still appreciating. You have an interest cost, but that interest cost may be tax deductible. Check with your tax professional on that. And certainly I'm not representing myself to be a tax professional, because I'm not designated as an accountant. I'm only designated as a financial planner. So when you use that home to purchase something, now you've created money working for you in two places. Number one, the house is still appreciating, still growing in value. Doesn't matter how much of a mortgage you have on that house, it's still going to appreciate at the same value as if a house didn't have a mortgage. Okay. And then you have the line of credit, and then you have the business asset, potentially a tech company or a private company that is also producing a return. It could be producing an income return. It could be producing a capital gain. So you have the house appreciating and the business appreciating, and you have that debt that is being used as a potential tax advantage instead of selling your house. And instead of selling your house and using those proceeds to invest in a company. One of the best examples in British Columbia is a guy by the name of Jimmy Pattison, who used the value of his life insurance contract to purchase his first car dealership back in the early 1960s. And to this day, he still uses life insurance as the primary financing vehicle so that he could do things like buy yachts, buy new companies. He's been on a John Deere purchase trail recently. So all these things are able to be done. You're either going to use the bank, who always earns that interest on that line of credit, or infinite banking can give you the ability to earn money back on the interest that you pay to a bank. Why not pay at least a portion of that back to yourself? Now, to find out more about infinite banking, connect with Andrew and Michelle, who can maybe potentially have a meeting with you or introduce you to myself, who the three of us who work as a team can work with you in understanding infinite banking and how it works, and why you should be considering infinite banking in your own financial planning. Look, number one, don't take your financial planning from a TikTok video, okay? A financial plan has to be done with considering all aspects of what's available to you. Now, when I first learned about infinite banking, I first read the book Becoming Your Own Banker, and I had to get over my cognitive bias when I started reading that book, because it literally blew my mind. I was an ex-banker. I was 17 years in the banking industry and 2 years in foreign exchange before that, before I even heard of what infinite banking really was. And so my journey was one of discovery. The first step in my journey, and the first step that I would recommend to you, is to go grab the book Becoming Your Own Banker by the late R. Nelson Nash, who discovered infinite banking for himself back in the 1980-81 financial crisis and the mortgage crisis, quite frankly. He tells the story much better than I do, so I'm not going to try and steal his thunder. Start with that book. Book a meeting with the person that you've had a conversation with, Andrew or Michelle, and they will be able to start guiding you on your process of discovery to find out if infinite banking is a fit for you. Like I said, infinite banking is not for everybody, but anybody can take the principles of becoming your own banker and implement them into being the central hub of your financial plan.